The world does not know the other way of bringing it up. Yoga tried to take this energy up. Tantra tried to take this energy up. When this energy goes up, then an implosion happens to the body.
So, what are the different paths to enlightenment? You've got tantric path, yogic path. Could you elaborate on different paths that you're aware of?
There can be as many paths, as many human beings on this planet. Path can never be repeated. There can be no second Buddha. There can be no second Osho. There can be no second Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. Buddha is Buddha. Everybody has his own path. We cannot follow anybody. Following is an imitation. Enlightenment is always first-hand experience. It has nothing to do with the second-hand experience. Buddha may have been enlightened under the Bodhi tree. After the departure of Buddha, millions of people have been sitting under the tree. But nobody became enlightened. So enlightenment does not have any criteria, does not have any following. If you become enlightened, it will be simply your way. It will not be a repeated way at all. Even if you go through yoga, through meditations, through yantras, through mantras, it is simply an attunement with yourself. Once you are attuned with yourself, then you are attuned with this whole globe, with this whole cosmos. Because enlightenment is a technique in which you drop your drop into the ocean. So you become the ocean itself. The drop, identity, the form, the shape, the name, the religion, the country, everything disappears, merges into one. And when this unity happens, it is enlightenment. It may happen through yoga, it may happen through any path. But it will be simply your path. Because we are all different. It is impossible to find two people alike. They may look like from the face, from the eyes, but the mind may not be it may be different. Sometimes mind may be the same, but something here or there will be definitely different in two different people. So there is no repetition in the nature at all. So how there can be the following in one path? There has been two kind of paths in the whole world. The path of love and the path of yoga. On the path of love, we have Christianity, we have Islam, we have Judaism. On the path of yoga, we have Taoism, we have Zen Buddhism, we have Buddhism, we have Jainism. On the path of yoga, it is a journey from self to yourself. It is a journey of alone. If you will commit a sin, it is you who will wash it out through your own virtues. Nobody else is responsible for it. You have to wash them yourself. But on the path of love, you are millions of people together. There is somebody, it may be in the invisible form, to whom you love, to whom you trust, to whom you surrender, to whom you become available. It can be a god, it can be anything. So the path of yoga has been bit difficult way because it is the path of discipline. You have to discipline the body. It takes a lot of years to discipline the body. When the body is disciplined, then you have to discipline the mind. When the mind is disciplined, then the yoga will start working on your body, will start working on your mind. So the body, mind, and the spirit, they are attuned together. When they are attuned together, the enlightenment may happen to one. But on the path of love, you have to simply surrender. There is somebody who is looking after you. A trust is created in you. So Buddha, after the departure of Buddha, the Buddhism was divided into two paths. It is the same among the Hindus. When the Upanishads, the ancient scriptures of the Hindus, when their message was really hidden, then the whole Hinduism was divided into two paths. The devotion, prayer, in which we have a temple, and the path of yoga. But the path of yoga or the path of discipline has been very dry because it is a journey of alone. Nobody is responsible with you. Nobody is going to walk with you. This is what Buddha religion, they call it Hinayan, the boat of one person, in which you have to travel this whole globe in your own boat of life. Another is known as Mahayan. Maha means great, Yan means the boat, in which hundreds of people can be together. So this path became more popular in the world. The path of devotion, the path of prayer, the path of churches, the path of temples. But the path of yoga, of renunciation, could not become very popular in the world. It became popular only among the people, those who were really very much determined for their self-search alone. Those who never wanted the crowd to be with them. So it was not very appealing to the people. That is why Jesus brought the message of love. Krishna brought the message of love. But Buddha, Mahavira, Lao Tzu, or Zen masters, they brought the message of yoga. But yoga path, it is not meant for the people, those who are without will. For this path, you need a willpower.
Would you say that that comes from
Yes.
an experience?
Yes. To
Which
discipline the body, to discipline the mind, to create an awareness. It is tough.
Mm.
So the path of yoga is not very appealing to the world. Because on the path of yoga, you have to be also a celibate. It's the path of brahmacharya.
Mm.
You have to control, you have to discipline the body. Because the scientists, they say that 69% cells in the human body are the sex cells. So this energy is jumping within you. It is exploding. And the world knows only one passage, that is down. The world does not know the other way of bringing it up. Yoga tried to take this energy up. Tantra tried to take this energy up. When this energy goes up, then an implosion happens to the body. Not an explosion. Explosion is always outer. There is sound and there is also two-ness. When it explodes, then it creates. Because in every explosion, the creation is hidden. So when the energy goes down, it creates the world. But when the energy goes up, then you have an implosion. In this implosion, your energy does not go out. It remains within you, and through your psychic centers of the body, it goes up. There are only two paths. Whether we want to go down or we want to go up. It is our own decision. The whole world, we are all standing simply on one step. Whether we want to go from this step down or we want to go up. So those who go down, they remain with the world. But those who go up, they become religious. This is only the difference. But this path of celibacy, if the celibacy is based on disciplining, on suppression, on repression, it is not a celibacy. Because this energy may come somewhere else. It may go somewhere else. If you suppress it too much, a certain neurosis will be created in you. So Tantra, especially in the path of love, devotion, or surrender, they never controlled it. The flow, if it wanted to go down, it went down. If it wanted to go up, it went up. It was simply an individual decision where he wants to send it. So the path of yoga was a little dry. Whatever yoga is prevalent in this century, whatever is happening in the name of yoga, it has really nothing to do with the real yoga. It is a yoga of fitness. It is making your body fit, but it is not transforming you at all. You might have come across, I have an opportunity to come across with many yogis, still there is anger in them because they have been suppressing it. So this suppression, this repression, it comes out in the form of hate, it comes out in the form of anger, it comes out in the form of ego. So it has millions of ways to express. It's not a natural way. So Tantra denied this path because it is the need of the body. If you do not taste whether the sugar is sweet or savory, how can you say? What in the world, what is happening? We always, whatever we listen, we take it granted. or whatever we read in the holy scriptures, we take it granted also. It is not your experience. It may be the experience of somebody else. So it cannot become your path. That's why the world is not serene. We are imitators, followers. For the bliss, for the happiness, your own experience is needed. Yes, the second question.
Um,
Tantra is not a religion at all.
no.
Tantra is a way of life. The day we are born, from that day Tantra begins. Tantra teaches you three dimensions of life. First dimension, we are the body. We are friendly with it. We live in it. So the first thing, if the journey begins from this temple, we have to know this temple. We have to be aware with each action which comes out from the hands, from the legs, from the eyes, from the ears. We have to be aware with all these actions. And once you are aware, you are attuned with the body. So the first stage of Tantra, that you have to prepare the body. You have to make your body very receptive. You have to allow the body to function as it should function. You have to allow the ears to listen what they want to listen. You have to allow the eyes to see what they want to see, not what you want to see, not what you want to hear. You have to allow the feet to take you wherever they want to go. Buddha used to call it an state of tathagata. If the wind comes from the east, the grass goes down to the west. If the wind comes from the west, the grass goes down to the east. Both down to the east. It does not have his own willpower. It moves with the wind. This is what we call surrender. This is what we call trust. This is what we call transparency. We have to accept as the things are happening to the body. Once you accept it, then there will be no space in your life for a judgment. You cannot pass on judgment to anybody. You are responsible only for yourself. You are not responsible for others at all. You cannot say he is bad man, he is a good man. Who the hell you are to say that he is bad man? The divine is accepting him as he is. We are not higher than him not to accept him. So we have to welcome everybody. We have to receive everybody. When the body is receptive, when the body is prepared, then it knows to whom it should receive, to whom it should not receive. If the body does not like a particular person, the legs will not go to him. The legs will turn on the other direction. It is not you who has decided. It is the body. Because the other body which is in front of him has some negative energy in it. And when this positive energy body goes near him, it starts shaking. So it changes the direction. But it does not mean that energy is bad. It is not of your path. It is of a different path. So Tantra says when the body is prepared, then each action which comes out from the body, for example, you are eating, you feel the fingers, you feel the food which you touch through your fingers. When you take the food on the lips, you feel the food on the lips also. When it goes down through your throat, you feel until it goes down. It is an awareness to the body. Second thing, Tantra says that attune the mind. When body is perfected, when body is prepared, mind has to be prepared. You are eating, the same time you are thinking about this tree, thinking about him, thinking about you, planning inside. You are not eating at all. You are eating what we call yantravat, mechanically, like a robot. You switch on the button of the mind, the hand takes the food, pours the food. You do not feel the love in the food of a person who has made it. You do not feel any energy in the food from the fingers which were rolling the chapati. So when the mind is ready, then it is more psychological, more poetic, more poetic. But it is little bit higher than the body. That is why Hindus have really divided that there are three stages in each action which comes out from our body. One action is yantra, like a machine. You push the button of a machine, make it on, and the machine starts working. Because this is after all a machine. Second is stage what we call is mantra, mental. It is little bit higher than the physical. When you arrive on this, then you feel little love also. You become more close to the heart. You feel the food. You feel the love in it. When you have perfected the state of the yantra, the state of the mantra, then you enter into Tantra. And whosoever has entered into this yantra, into this state of Tantra, they can say that Annan Brahmam, food is the divine. You are just putting the divine within you. The whole love you are showering on your body. When this stage happens, then there is no difference between you and the soul existence. This is the God who is telling the feet to go there, who is telling the eyes to see, who is telling the ears to listen what they want to listen. You are nobody there. You are completely. So Tantra has divided the awareness into three stages. It has been really the greatest experiment which was conducted on the human body. But from the body itself. In Tantra there are no scriptures, there is no techniques. Once you are in your total spontaneity, if you are totally adventurous, standing on the abyss, you may go down or you may go up. So Tantra has been something only for the courageous, not for the weak people, those who are ready to risk the life. So it has been not very appealing to the world. Even in medieval period, it is said that there were hardly 5-7% tantrics in India, because it is a path, a very rebellious path. It is a very anarchic path. No traditions, no customs, no following, no religion, no scriptures. Let these sculptures burn. Burn them. You have to follow your own path. You have to create your own scripture. You cannot reach anywhere through the informations, through this knowledge, vast knowledge which is available into Vedas, into Upanishads, into different epics, or in the Bible, or this or that. But there are very few people, those who are really religious. We are also called religious. We are following the traditions. And these traditions have created a big violence in the whole world. The historians, they say that in the history of 5,000 years, there has been 3,200 wars. 3,200 wars. Out of 3,200 wars, 2,500 were religious wars. Rest of them were to enhance the territories, to make the world slave, to dominate, out of desires to extend, to expand. But 2,500 has been religious. Every religion in the world is telling my flag is higher than your flag. And these flags have really created a big turmoil in the human consciousness. So religion, there cannot be a religious. Everybody is a religious, a born religious. But religion always moves, the so-called religions moves with the mob. They are based on mobocracy. If he is following, then there should be some truth. If 20,000, if half of the world is following Jesus, there is something in it. It is not your experience. It has been told by your parents, it has been told by your neighbors that this path is the best path. It is not you who has decided. Even we don't decide the name. The name is given by the parents. The habits are given by the parents. The discipline is given by the parents. Tantra says, leave the child in its anarchic way. If he is touching the fire, okay, you have to tell that your fingers will be burnt. Because he does not know. He does not discriminate between the fire and the water. So you have to teach certain important things. But the rest of the things we have to allow. Somebody was making an experiment in Germany on 300 children from 3 years to 5 years children. And he has found it out that the children were only eating that what the body wanted to eat. When they were sick, they will reject a particular food because it was not good for the body. If they will eat that food, the body will become more sick. There was nobody to tell them. They were listening the language of the body. They were more close to the God, more close to the nature, to themselves. So Tantra says that respect the individuality, allow everybody to grow the way they want to grow. Don't give them many suggestions. Don't give them many advices. We always want to make them something what they are not. That is why there is so much unhappiness in the world. An engineer is not happy, a doctor is not happy, a lawyer is not happy, a rich man is not happy. Something is wrong in the whole system of the society. Because we have not allowed the children to become themselves. A child from the very beginning wanted to become a carpenter, but we made him an engineer. So he is not happy with the job. If you will work on 100 people, interview 100 people, you will be surprised to know that maybe out of 110 are very happy with the job. They became something. They became something when they looked outside in this world. That a better salary, a better status, a good living. And when they enter into it, they have been forcing the body, they have been forcing the mind to study a particular subject, a particular field. So Tantra says that allow everybody to become them what they want to become. Don't force anything on a child. Allow him. Let him be anarchic. So Tantra respects the body, respects the mind also. But it says that you have to watch just the thoughts from where they are coming. What is the root from where this desire is born? This desire is born out of hate, out of greed, out of lust, or out of a competition. Because you always compare yourself with the others. You cannot be the other at all. Other is other. So Tantra respects an individual, his individuality. That is the beauty of Tantra. You see, I met beautiful people in my life. I met first Osho in 1962. He had a friend 50 kilometers away from here in a town known as Chhatarpur. That's the district headquarters. He was the guest of a friend of mine. So this friend, brother, was my classmate. So I was in the first year in the college. So he told me that there is some acharya, and from yesterday he has started speaking something on Jain principles. So why don't you come and listen him? He told me in the class in the college. So next day I went. There were only 11 people for the lecture. I remember two were elderly women. They were widow because they were wearing white saris. And there were 7 people and we 2 young people. So altogether 11 people. So that day he spoke on one of the principles of Jainism, what we call achori, non-stealing. It was 45 minutes. talk, but wonderful. I really loved it. The next day he spoke on Aste. Aste is non-attachment. But the way he defined the non-attachment, it was something incredible. I read before that. My father, he was working during the British period. So he used to have big library in the house of a movement, what we call Arya Samaj. फादर के पास 500 किताबें थी आर्य समाज की. Arya Samaj. So some of the books during the holidays I used to study in the house. They were quite interesting. But a religion without rituals, without any god, without any idol. At the most you can perform a havana, a fire ritual. They believed or worshipped the invisible spirits. So this was quite a famous movement in the country. So I had little seed of understanding. So I loved it. And that time his friend was the member of Legislative Assembly. Mahendra Kumar, his name was Mahendra Kumar Manav. So his brother was my friend, Surendra Kumar. So when this Acharya left, I asked my friend, brother, do you have some books? He says, so far no books are available of this man. But the people, those who invite him for 3 days, they publish little booklets of 3 days discourses. So whatever he had, he has given it to me. And I really loved. And in 64 I became a guide after my graduation. So those days in 64, this village was very primitive. There was no place to eat. There was no place to stay. The whole village was made out of mud and clay tiles. Not a single house was of concrete. Those days, the flight used to come in about 70 kilometers away from here. And that flight was once in a month. So when I became a guide, I thought it is better to go to receive some of the guests if they are coming, so I will take them round the temple and send them in the evening back to the airport. So I have been doing it like this. So one day, some guests were coming by car from Agra. So I was waiting for them under a tree. And a jeep came and stopped just in front of me under this tree. And in this jeep, this Acharya was there. So I recognized him. I said, 2 years ago I have heard him. So I went and I said, hello Acharya ji. He looked at me from bottom to the top and he said, who are you? I said, I have heard you 2 years ago in the house of so and so when you came to deliver the lectures. So then he remembered. Yes, there were 2 young boys, so you are one of them. I said, yes. So he said, what do you do? I said, I am a guide here. So he was very happy. He held my hand and he said, let's go, we will go well together. So whenever he used to come, I used to go with him. And then in 68, one Swami Rama, he's a very famous man now, he has many centers all over the world. He came and started living in Yogini temple in a hut. It is the same ashram there. Now they have created beautiful ashram there. It is the ashram of Swami Ram. So every evening we used to sit. There used to be one Naga Baba in front of the temple. in a hut on the right side, not on the left. So Swami Ram every day used to come to me and this Naga Baba. We were sitting, and sometime this Naga Baba used to smoke marijuana. So he used to smoke, but this Swami Ram was not smoking. But he was a wonderful soul. Then in 75 there was Kumbh Mela in a city known as Allahabad. Kumbh Mela is the biggest religious festival of the world. So that time I used to live in Pune in the ashram, working there. So some of my friend, he had a camping van. He said, let's go to stay in the Kumbh Mela. So with 4 people came from Pune and parked our van, camping van, inside the Mela. So every day we had been going here and there. So that time Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was there, the man of transcendental meditation. So I thought it would be nice to take initiation from him. So he gave me initiation. We learned 5 days transcendental meditation. And after a few days, we went to Prabhupada, the man of Krishna consciousness, Hare Rama man. So we thought it is better, okay, take initiation from him also. So we took initiation from him also. And every day we have been listening them. Sometime, someday here, someday there, someday there. Because religion, you cannot tie up yourself with one. The oldest book of this country, what we call, is Rig Veda. This is the first and the oldest. The beginning, the first sloka of Rig Veda, it says, let the novel thoughts come from all the directions. From whichever direction it is coming. From the east, from the west, from the north. So there can be as many gurus, as many people in the world. Once you are a follower of, a strict follower of somebody, you are fanatic. It is only the difference between a religious person and a fanatic. You have to allow this wisdom to come to you. Everybody has his own experience. So I allowed always myself. I never tied up with one pillar, myself. So always. But you always see, because we are all little bit in the mind, and still you compare that clarity of the wisdom, from whose wisdom there was more clarity. You have been more contented, more happy. So when you compare this, then you find a master also. But it does not mean that the others are inferior or others are enemies. If all the religions would have been like this, like Tantra, there would have been no fight, no violence, no wars in the world. Because love is never conditional. Either love is there or it is not there. Love means the whole. You cannot love only your wife, your child. When you love everybody. There is no condition in it. And because of the condition, the unhappiness is there in the whole world. Divorces are there. Condition. It is only mine, you cannot touch it. But in this country, there was a period what we call Upanishads, the period of 5,000 years. There was nothing like this. Some of the mystics or the rishis of this country were married. And if the wife of some rishi runs and starts living with the other master, no problem. They never fought. Real master or real rishi, what we call mystic, never fought for it. Because it was not a property, it was not a possession. She was in love. After 1 year, 10 years, the love disappeared. So it is better to say goodbye. But with a thank. So Tantra has been always living in the communes, what we call them, sanghas. They were unable to fit themselves with the society. The society wants frictions. Society is like a scissor. It cuts, it divides. My family, my wife, my son, my house, my country. So Tantra is a universal religion. It does not, by chance it is born in India, but it is not the property of the Hindus. Because those received, those who perceived Tantra, they were not Hindus at all. They were simply human beings. But we have to give a title, they are Hindus. So Tantra never believed in any caste, never believed in any tradition, never believed in any sculpture. It's all second-hand information. You have to have your own experience, first-hand information. Next. This is Yorba. The body is Yorba. In this country, there has been a sect. There has been a sect Charbak. Charbakas. Have you ever heard this word, Charbakas? Eat, drink, and be merry. It's beautiful. There has been beautiful mystics in this country. There has been one man. His name is Gorakh. He's one of the very important pillar of this country, Gorakh. He always used to say that Hasva, Khelva, Dharva, Dhyan means laugh, eat, dance, be merry. The body lives with the protons. This is Jorba. Like Jorba the Greek. Since you are in it as a tenant, you have to look after it. Because you are living in it. You cannot torture it. You cannot punish it. You cannot sleep on the thorns or whip your body. People have been masochist. The tremendous masochism was there in the whole world. In the name of the religion. In Christianity, in Hinduism, even in Buddhism. People don't put on the sandals. Feet, the soles of the feet are hurt many times through these stones, through the thorns. People have been whipping with a whip which has had the thorns, sleeping on the bed of thorns. Since you are in it, it is your own temple. So why do you kill this temple? Why do you destroy this temple? Why do you harm this temple? This is only the religion in the whole world, Tantra, which has really respected the body, loved the body, caressed the body, touched the body, felt it very deeply. So, most of the religions have been against the body, against penance, standing under a tree, naked, shivering cold. The body is not comfortable. But Tantra has not done these topsy-turvy things. Tantra has accepted the life in its very normal, natural way. When it is too cold, if the body is shivering, you need a protection to it. You have to protect. But you can also train the body so you will not feel cold. Sometime like the Jaina monks which were here, sometime when it is too cold, they sleep on the grass. They put a grass, on it they sleep. Because grass has some warmth in it. So they do not feel that cold. But some advanced people, when you go on little bit disciplining the body can be disciplined also. Then you will neither feel cold nor feel hot. But if you are really aware, if you feel totally aware, when the body is aware, then you feel it. When the body is sensitive. But if the body has become like a rock, the whole sensitivity is gone. So Tantra respected this sensitivity of the body. But with this respect, you cannot trespass. You cannot give any violence, any torture to the others. You have to remain in your own space. You cannot grab the other space. It is a trespass. You are disturbing the liberty of others. That is why most of the religions, especially Jainism, has been telling us that live and let live. If you have a right to be on this planet, on this earth, others have a right too. An animal, an insect, a plant, because everything has a life. It does not have a mind, but it has a body. Rock has a body also, but rock is sleeping. Deep sleep. Trees, animals, they have a body, but they have a little bit feeling, what we call sensitivity. They can feel it, but no mind. That is why most of the religions respected this law of the nature, and especially Tantra respected it very deeply. They respected the trees, the insects, the animals, everything. They have been never against it. It is too much now, this sound. Majority of the people in the world,
Yes.
they all live
So,
only as body.
mm,
They think that body is everything. Sometimes some people have the glimpses of beyond body. But for a split moment, out of 24 hours, maybe for a 1 hour, it means they have gone little bit beyond the body. Hindus have been calling, especially the yogis, that there are 7 bodies. But majority of the people in the world, they are all living on what we call sthul sarira, on physical body. There are very few people, those who go beyond this physical body, they enter into astral body. When they enter into astral body, then the intuition starts. The love comes in, compassion comes in. Negativity is left behind. Positivity enters into the second stage of the body. So one may become a painter, one may become an artist, one may become a poet, for they have the glimpses of beyond the body, glimpses of the intuitions. So they have gone little beyond Jurva state. Jurva state is a state of full body only, body conscious, not beyond this body of intuitions. So whatever poets, painters, famous ones, they have moved beyond the body, intuitive body, astral body. Then slowly, such people, they go beyond 6 more bodies. And finally, they enter into cosmic body. Cosmic body is the body of the whole, not the minor. The minor dissolves into the whole. The whole cosmos has become a body. Hindus call it Virat Sarupa. Virat, whole. Krishna, it is said that Krishna was living in the Virat Sarupa. So when he used to dance with 16,000 girlfriends, all those 16,000 girlfriends were feeling deeply that Krishna is dancing only with me. If you interview all those 16,000, they were all telling, tonight Krishna was sleeping with me. Krishna was dancing with me. Krishna was sleeping with me. This is a state of the cosmic body. This is in a state of Buddhahood. But the world lives only on the physical form, on the physical. They don't go. Very few people go beyond it. Whosoever has become enlightened in the world, they all entered into the cosmic body. They have dropped their drop into the ocean. So from one, they became many. They manifested in the form of plants, they manifested in the form of a star, sun, moon, insects. It is the same energy, this is what we call the prana. It is the same prana which is floating. Prana does not say that you are a bad person, so I will not give it to you. This is sense of life. Unconditionally, it is available for everybody. For a sinner and for a virtuous person. Unconditional. That is the nature. Because if there is anything like divine, like supreme, like God, then he does not discriminate. That is why Jesus has been always telling that the God has created man in his own image. If an image can be given to a God, it can be an image of Buddha, it can be an image of Krishna, it can be an image of Lao Tzu. It can be an image of all the beautiful people which are born on this planet. That is a state of Buddhahood. So everybody is living on the state of Jorva. There's nothing beyond body. Body is everything, people say. But those who arrived and those who distributed their experiences to the world, they say that there is something beyond this body also. And when they enter it, they say that it is not a form, it is a formless state. The moment we give it a form, we limit it. It cannot become Virata. It cannot become the whole. Because in the whole, minor is included. But in the whole, we cannot put the minor. Minor has to dissolve into the whole to become the cosmos itself. So this is the journey from Jorva to Buddha, from body to the mind, mind to the spirit. So Tantra moved with these three dimensions: body, mind, and the spirit. And when you enter into that state, then the division is lost. This is what an state, tantrics have been calling this state, an state of hermaphrodite, in which both these polarities are within you, North Pole and the South Pole. You are what we call Hindus Ardhanarishura. Ardha means half, half man and the half woman. The moment you are angry, you are on the side of the man. The moment you are passionate, compassionate, tender, soft, graceful, you are on the side of the woman. So each moment we become a man and each moment we become a woman. Both these possibilities are there within us. Even the scientists have proved it that the human mind has two hemispheres, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. They say on this side there are so many energies and on this side there are so many energies, channels of energies, but we call them yoginis. So they say altogether there are 64 channels of prana, 64 manifestations. Our energy of the mind blows through 64 channels. That is why Hindus have been really very beautiful people in the world. They say that whosoever becomes perfect in 64 arts, he becomes a Buddha. And they say Krishna is the only God of the Hindus who has perfection in all those 64 arts of life. So we call him a perfect incarnation of the God. We don't give this title to Buddha, we don't give this title to Rama, we don't give this title to anybody else because they have been just on one part of it. Krishna celebrated. Krishna accepted the total life in its totality. It became for everything in his life yes and yes and yes. No space for no. No space for negation. For everything yes. So that is the path of Tantra from Jurva to Buddha. Khajuraho has really helped Osho on its path of enlightenment. Khajuraho represent the total yes to life, no negation, total acceptance. War is there, fight is there, sex is there, devotion is there, love is there. Every aspect of the life is there on the temples. And whenever we used to go together in the temples, when he was not known to the world, not even in India, he always used to tell me, if an ashram will happen in life, it will be a living Khajuraho. And that he has accepted, experimented very deeply in Pune and also in Oregon. His place was totally yes to everything. Dance, music, sex. But whatever act we are doing in our life, if it is done with awareness, then you will be transformed. But most of the people have been totally in deep slumber. That is why this fast transformation did not happen. But his message was that the journey always begins from the rock to the life. So the journey always begins from body to the spirit, to the soul. That has been his greatest message. And these temples, whenever he used to come, he used to just watch or lie down for hours together. He was not looking the temples as a tourist. Every figure used to speak to him. His presence, his approach. When you are really available to a place, when you become totally available, totally transparent, then the place starts speaking to you. You have created a space inside you. Since the space is there, so the whole will enter into that space. No mystery will remain. So whatever has been happening in the world, it has been happening because the people were prepared. In India, we have a word in our language, we call it Akash Bani, revelation. As you say in Christianity, the 10 Commandments were revealed to Moses. Moses has not written them. He has been hearing these commands which were coming from beyond. And he was just writing 10 Commandments. They say in Islam that Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Muhammad was an illiterate. He was unable to write, unable to read. He was sitting in the top of a mountain and some revelation happened to him. And that revelation was recorded by one man who was educated in the village. So whenever these things they happen beyond mind, not in the mind at all. Hindus, they say that Mahabharata, especially the part of Gita, it happened into the battlefield. Now you can imagine the situation of a battlefield full of violence, full of tension, full of anxieties. But Krishna and Arjuna gave a space to Krishna to enter for this inner dialogue. So this whole dialogue of Bhagavad Gita happened in the war, among the chaos. Because beautiful things, they happen only in the chaos. When you have allowed the body to be itself, the body will receive only that what it wants to receive. It will hear only that what the ears want to hear. There may be 10,000 sounds, but they will not enter inside your ears. But if some bird is singing somewhere, if somebody is playing a flute on a distance, that will come to your ears. 10,000 people will not, their sound will not enter to your ears. Because we have allowed the body to function in its own way, without any discipline, without any suppression, without any repression to the body. So this path of these temples is the path of total awareness. When the body is aware, then the mind also slowly becomes aware. It knows what kind of thoughts should come to you and what kind of thoughts should not come to you. Once you know the problem of your sickness, there is a medicine for it. But the world does not know the reason of the sickness of the mind. Whatever we have been suppressing from the childhood, it all comes slowly. Whatever we have gathered in our subconscious state, it all comes slowly. And this becomes the cause of the desire. One after another, millions of thoughts are there. They are overlapping on each other. So Tantra especially teaches us that how to find out this gap which happened between two words. For example, you can say a rose flower. A, there is a distance gap of nothing, then a rose, then again a gap, then a flower. In between these three words, there are two gaps. These gaps are of nothingness. There's nothing at that moment. Hindus call that state shunya, in a state of zero, in a state of nothingness. That is a state of Buddhahood. That is a state of meditation. That moment there is nothing. No past, no future. That is in a state of the moment. You are still there. You are freezed there. Because the pendulum of life is moving like this. Always left, right. Man, woman, minus, plus, day, night, sun, moon, good, bad. This is the pendulum. There's nothing good, nothing bad. These are our definitions. Same thing can be good for you, the same thing can be bad for the other. For example, there's an animal, a pig. Pig is very unholy in Islam and very holy for the Hindus because it is an incarnation of their God. Their God came in the form of a pig. So this cannot be a religion. This has nothing to do with the religion. It is a tradition. Tradition was formed by we people. We are responsible for creating the divisions. So Tantra says that accept everything in its totality. There's nothing good, nothing bad. These are all temporary things. The thing which is eternal always happens into the gap. So the beautiful things, they were always revealed to the masses, to the people. It's a revelation, intuition. For a certain moment, you enter in a state psychologically and little bit glimpses beyond mind. So whatever things are happening inside you, if you become receptive, you take an example like this. You see the television. To receive the signals of the television on the top of the house, we have an antenna. It is receiving. And we see an image. We listen everything. The antenna is very receptive. We are all carrying that antenna on our head. But we have to open it. We have to make it more receptive, more available. That is why Hindus call when seventh chakra is opened, then it is kind of a fountain of bliss. Before, this fountain was blocked, but we opened it. We created a space in it. So the fountain of bliss of life went up. So this is all on our action, whether we want to receive it or not. So some people have intuitions, some people don't have intuition. If our skin is thick, if it is not sensitive, we will not have any intuition. So Khajuraho is all based on this inner wisdom which has been received by the people, by the mystics of this area of the past. They made themselves available for this whole wisdom. We say that whatever we utter from our mouth, it remains there. Each sound remains. That is the whole mystery of the mantras. Maran mantra, this mantra, 64 mantras. Because you can kill somebody through your words, through your sound. You have become that receptive. So this receptivity is needed. This openness, this availability. For example, if you are standing in front of a mirror and on the mirror there is plenty of dust, you will not be able to see your face as you are. So first you have to clean this dust. When the dust is gone from the mirror, then you will see yourself into your total nakedness. So the dust is of our definitions of life, our conceptions, our so-called religions, our so-called pundits and the priests and the bishops and the cardinals. They have been all polluting us. They never allowed us to say directly to the God. There has been always a bridge between we people and the God or the existence. So you have to pass through this bridge of the middleman, mediators, what we call. So this is not really needed. On the path of the religion, no. A guru is needed. Guru can teach you how to walk. But once you can walk yourself, he will just leave you alone. He cannot hold your hand all the time. He cannot promise you anything. No promise can be given. No transmission can be given. If you are ready, something will happen to you. So this transmission, this vast knowledge is all wandering into this space. And all these mystics, rishis of the world, they opened their antenna and they started writing everything. So the whole Mahabharata, whole Gita, all the Upanishads, they're born out of this transmission from the cosmos. Because nothing can be destroyed. Even scientists, they say that matter nor be created, neither be destroyed. At the most, you can change the form of the matter, but you cannot destroy it. Not completely. You might have heard till last year they have been doing a great experiment in Europe, in Switzerland, in one of the mountains with a collider and the big 9-kilometer long tunnel. They have been working on the atom. They found it out that in every atom, three things are present. When you take into laboratory, divide the matter, you will find that there is electron, there is neutron, and there is proton, and there is neutron. Hindus have been really very scientific in the early days. They found it out that there is electron, there is proton, and there is neutron. So they have created their three gods. They call them Brahma. Electron is creative. Electron is electricity. So you take minus and plus, join them, the current starts running in a circuit. It creates. We are born out of this current of two. Our parents met in the night. They left their seed, seminal seed, into the womb of a mother, and we are born. So these two are needed for the creation. So electron, they gave to one god, what they call Brahma. Then when this was created, it needed the proton to keep it intact, to keep it alive. So they made it Vishnu. He became preserver. He has been protecting, feeding us. Then they created Shiva. Neutron. Neutron is very destructive. You can make atoms, bombs out of it. You can destroy the whole world. But in each destruction, creation is hidden. That is why Hindus have been believing that there are reincarnations, life after life. Because this matter, atom, cannot be destroyed at all. It has three functions, three forces present in it. So when they were doing this experiment, and when they dissected the matter, or this atom, the smallest part of the atom was left, and they could not divide it. When they could not divide it, then they said, what name we should give it to you? So in this whole experiment, I was reading the whole episode about this experiment. They published later on a book. So there were two Indian scientists in this experiment. They said, this is what we call God. The one which cannot burn, which cannot be cut, which cannot be divided, which is eternal. This is what we call the ultimate synthesis. This is the prana, which has been always there, will be there. Even we are in this form or not. So this trinity of the science has been experimented by the mystics of this country, I think about 10,000 years, 15,000 years ago. So this is the self-experimentation. They worked on this life laboratory, on their own body, and out of these experiments they came to know that we are the part of this atom. So we have all the three possibilities. And finally they found it out that two forces are important. Everything is polar, opposites. Day, night, sun, moon, man, woman. But the Tantra has been teaching that when we were born, when we entered into the womb of a mother, if our mother has been more dominating, then it is going to be a daughter. If the father would have been more dominating, it will become a son. It was all based on the scientific research. So when they found it out that we are polar opposites, and this polarity can also become one, this ultimate synthesis. So they found it out that we are both. This side we have a man and this side we have a woman. That is why in India we call a wife Bhamagni. Bhamagni means the one who is on the left. Heart is on the left. So she is the woman here, this is the husband here. Hindus call it Ardhanari Sura. They have an aspect of Shiva and Shakti, half woman and half man. So this is the symbolism of Tantra, that we have to achieve that state. You are neither a man nor a woman. You are the product of the parents. You came out from the mother and also from the father. So you are carrying both the genes within you, both the hormones within you. So that is the greatest research. And this research has been done here in Khajuraho. In the presence of a master whose name was Gorakh. He was the greatest exponent of Tantra. If Gorakh would have been not there, we would have not known Kabira, Meera, Dadu, many mystics. They are all under him. They enter into his box. Once somebody told, one of the noble poet of this country asked a question. His name was Sumitra Nandan Pant. When this Amitabh Bachchan father का नाम क्या था? Harvansh Rai Bachchan, he was also sitting with him. So he asked, Acharya ji, tell us 12 names of this country. Mystics, those who really shake the whole consciousness of India. So Osho gave 12 names. They said it is too much. Give us 8. So he gave 8. He said it is too much again. Give us 6. So he gave 6. So this Subitra Nandan Pant, he said, no, Acharya ji give us 4. So he gave 4 names, those who really are the pillars of this country. On them, the house of this country is standing. The first, he says, is Krishna. If Krishna would have been not there, we would have not known unconditional love. Second is Patanjali. If Patanjali would have been not there, we would have not known yoga. He is the one who experimented on his own body. That it can liberate you, you can reach your journey from body to the mind and also to the spirit. Third man was Buddha. If Buddha would have been not there, we would have not known meditation and the compassion. He meditated under a tree for 12 years. Just he became a skeleton. And then the fourth man is Gorakh. If Gorakh would have been not there, Kabira would have been not there, Nanak would have been not there, Meera would have been not there, Dadu would have been not there. So the whole Nile lineage of Gorakh, it is comes from him. They are all later on. Meera and Dadu and Kabir, they are later. So the beginner is Gorakh, and if Gorakh would have been not there, we would have not known mantras, we would have not known yantras, and of course not Tantra. He is the one who revealed, who cleaned the dust from the mirror of Tantra, made available to the world. So whatever yantras, whatever mantras we know in the whole world, this is all Gorakh. And Gorakh had more disciples than Buddha itself. You cannot imagine. Naga Baba's ki Fauj thi jo. That's all Gorakh. Gorakh became enlightened in Nepal at the age of 13. The whole monarchy of Nepal, half of the Nepal, Gorkhas, these are all his disciples. So when he was 13 years, he became enlightened. And the whole kingdom of Nepal was really showering in a stream of bliss. Even the whole monarchy became his disciple of Nepal. Even today, he is well known in Nepal than in India. So these people used to wander naked, fully naked. Because they say we dress only for others. We live only for others. When you are in bathroom, when you are in your bedroom, you may be naked. Like the Jainas, they wander. So Gorakh also lived that way. And he passed here. The Chandelas, there are hills there in Mahoba, which is Gorakh Gufa, this Gufa, that Gufa. So Gorakh was their master. All these kings were his disciples. So Gorakh spared this message of Tantra to the world through these temples. This is the first place in the whole world where the form to Tantra was given. Before, Tantra was just available in the form of meditations. And whatever happens during meditation, it was not created, neither in the form of a statue nor in the form of paintings. So Gorakh gave this vision to the world, and this vision is available on these temples. So from invisible, it became visible to us. All these statues, all these mudras, all these different gestures, which happen to the people during meditation. Body may take any movement, body may take any gesture. It became an yantra. This is an yantra. This is a machine. But we have two kinds of machines, outer machine and inner machine. This cosmos has a machine, it's a yantra, this globe. So some people also reach through diagrams. They create a diagram. We do some rituals. We make yantras on the ground. We do some prayer. The whole purpose of it was only this, that how this yantra can be dissolved into this cosmic yantra. Gorak gave mantras. There are two kinds of sound. One sound is an outer sound, and another sound is the inner sound. So when people are in a position to listen to this inner melody, inner music, Hindus call it anahata, unbreakable sound. This music goes on 24 hours, even while you are sleeping. But there are very rare people, those who catch it, those who experience it. The people, those who experience, they call it anhata, they called it Om, they called it Omkar. You can give any name to it. It depends all on your experience. But accepted by the majority of the people in this country is the sound of the Om. This is happening in the whole world. When it went in China and in Japan, they call it the sound of one hand clapping. How can you clap with one hand? It's impossible. But this clapping is happening within you because you are breathing. You see what the mystics, especially in yoga, they have experimented, that each 7 minutes we change our breath. 7 minutes from this side, 7 minutes from this side. So when the sound it comes out, it takes a turn on a certain point. On this turn there is a sound. So the people, those who have heard it, they call it Om, they call it the sound of one hand clapping. On each turn there is a sound. This is what we call anhata, unbreakable music. So Gorak experimented different things on yantras, different on mantras, and out of these experiments, Tantra was born. Tantra was much more before. It is as old as this whole creation. It comes from Shiva and Shakti. Because Shiva and Shakti has a dialogue. One Shakti, what we call her Parvati, Devi, she asked, "Beloved, tell me the origin of my seed. What is the seed? From where I came? Is there any destination in life or not? How this destination can arise? What is ecstasy? What is bliss?" Shiva said, "Yes, I will give you an answer, but my answer will be a borrowed answer. It is not going to help you because it is my experience. You have to have your own experience." So Shiva, she asked 112 questions, and Shiva gave 112 techniques of meditations. Shakti did those techniques, and after completing the techniques, she got an answer. First question. She did second technique, she found the answer of the second question. Like this, 112 questions were asked and 112 answers were given to her from her own experiences, not from the mouth of Shiva. Shiva did not say intellectually. It was not his knowledge. Because Tantra is never borrowed, it is never second hand. It is a first hand experience. Tantra, there is nothing like second, nothing like information. There is a wisdom. And the wisdom comes from within yourself. When you open yourself, then you start receiving this whole vast wisdom which is available in this cosmos. Your transmitter is very strong, full of receptivity. So whatever has happened to the people, beautiful people in the world, it happened because they were ready to receive it. So they were not the creator. For example, you are playing a flute. It is not you who is creating. You have to become a hollow bamboo. Bamboo is hollow from inside. It's a tunnel. So it is not you who is putting the fingers on the different holes of the flute. It is the existence which is directing the fingers. And the sound is coming from beyond. You become receptive, so you receive this whole wisdom, whole knowledge. So there is nothing like mystery. Nothing like mystery. Once you know, then you will know it for what you have come, why you have come. You wanted to come, so you are there. Eastern mystics have been telling us that when somebody leaves the body and a desire was left in him, he could not fulfill it. Maybe he did not tell to the family that where he has hidden the treasure. He was not happy with the wife or not happy with the child, or he did not create a palace, and he died. So that desire was left. Because of that desire, he comes back into the next life to fulfill it. And there's no end of desire, so you have to come back again and again in the same cycle of going and coming. That is why a man like Buddha always has been telling us that desire is the cause of misery. Because what is there in this life except misery, except unhappiness? Nobody is happy. Very few, rare people are happy in the world. A rich man is not happy, a poor man is not happy. So this desiring mind cannot be happy at all. The mind which really accepts everything as it is becomes happy. Too much expectations. He should be like this, she should be like this. It's terrible. So Tantra says don't expect. If you want freedom for yourself, the other also wants freedom for herself. You have to allow every individual to be themselves. But the world moves with the domination. So Tantra has been telling us no domination. Nobody is your property. It is not you who has created it. So you don't have any right to control it. So Tantra was not very much appealing to the people, but it was appealing to the people, those who loved freedom of the self, not anarchy. You can be anarchic in yourself, but you cannot be anarchic for others. It's a violence. And you cannot torture the body. It's the only religion which has loved the body, which has respected the body. The only religion which is without a mediator, without methods, or without knowledge. No scriptures. Everybody comes as an empty book. Our page, our page of book of life, it is unwritten. But we write this whole book. So whatever we have written, we have to unlearn it. Once it is unlearned, once it is deleted, everything, then it becomes empty. When it becomes empty, the wisdom starts showering on you. If you are full, there's no space for the wisdom to come in. You have to create in a space. That is why Jesus always used to say that a camel can pass through the hole of a needle, but not a rich man. Rich in the sense of accumulations, rich in the sense of ego, I. Camel can pass, such a big animal can pass through the hole of a needle, but a rich man cannot. Rich means the one who has definitions, the one who is a Hindu, who is a Buddhist, who is this, who is that, somebody. When you are nobody, then you may pass through the hole of a ring. That is why Jesus always used to say, those who are like children, they are welcome in the kingdom of my God. The kingdom of the God is open only for the people of no mind. The children lives with the feeling, lives with the intuitions. Though no mind is not grown in them. So a childlike mind is needed. This is what Tantra has been teaching us. To me, I did many techniques. But one should taste everything. As we say that there are 112 original techniques. One must practice maybe in 1 year all those techniques. Maybe it may take 1 week this, 1 week this, 1 week this, 1 week this. In between, one technique will click to your body, to your mind, to your being. So whatever technique clicks to you, it can become your gate. Go through it. Do it for a few years and you will have results of it. So for me, important technique was Nada Brahma. But I used to do it 3 o'clock in the morning. My wife and Vinod Chaturvedi is the witness. We were living together. He said, Ganga, I have met so many people in my life, but never like you. 3 o'clock in the morning, my body used to jump from the bed and I'm doing this technique. 3 o'clock. In the beginning, when I started it, I was thinking, I will get up or not. So I had to watch for 2 days. But when I looked at the watch, it was exactly not 1 minute here or 1 minute there. It was exactly 3 o'clock. So after 2 days, I thought the watch is not needed. And when I experimented, when I looked at the time, it is not who I am, who is hungry. It is the body also. Body has lost its original contact with you. So it is also helping you, it is also supporting you. So this is, but I have been doing dynamic, I have been doing Kundalini, Nataraj. I used to do for many months, I did 5 techniques. But then this was my favorite. Nad Brahma. That is the eternal, that is the sound of the Brahma. 3 o'clock in the morning. We call it Brahma Muhurta. That time Brahma is awake. The creation is alive. The divine is awake, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that was my favorite. I did it for a couple of years. But it was a beautiful experience.
What is it?
Very beautiful. Because it gave me deep contentment and my body became very aware. My ears became, my nose became. So It's my own experience whenever, if I have an assignment to work with the tourist as a guide, 7 o'clock, I used to come out after shower, little food, and maybe 20 people there, 20 people there, 20 people behind, and they are talking so loudly. Nothing was entering inside. But if a bird is singing, somewhere that sound used to go. So for a few months I was thinking, I'm really hypnotized or mad or something like that. And one day I was listening a discourse of Osho, and I found this mystery. He says that my sannyasin can be meditative in a market. You can be in meditation even sitting while you are sitting in your office. Meditation means when you are focused 100% in one direction. When you are not divided. Generally, we people are all divided. We listen the other, but at the same time we are winking. It's not listening. We are looking at the other side. I am talking to you, you may be looking there, you may be looking there, you may be thinking something. It means you are not 100% there with me. You are divided. Once you are divided, you will not be able to know the language of the body. Once you are totally in it, then you will know. Body knows its own language. Body will listen only that what it looks beautiful for it. It will receive only that sound. It will not receive ugly sound, aggressive sound, fighting sounds, possessive sounds. So that is the language of the body. That is what Tantra gives you, a deep insight, a deep awareness to the body. And they say it, that it is your temple. You are living in it. Respect it. But we torture it. So we miss this opportunity. एक बार क्या हुआ, कभी मौका मिले तो पूछना तुम, इस क्या नाम विनोद से, हम ध्यान करके हमेशा नाश्ता साथ में किया करते थे. माता जी बनाती थी नाश्ता और दोनों बैठ के करते थे. तो उनका ये बेटा भी कई महीने रहा साथ में. तो एक दिन हम 6 बजे सुबह से एक ध्यान करते थे. उसमें घुस गए हम उस कमरे में और हम निकले नहीं. 7:45 तक. तो वो विनोद बोले कि भाभी आज भाई साहब नहीं निकले ध्यान करके. तो बोले हो सकता है कि नहीं निकले हों, बैठ गए हों वहीं कमरे में बैठे हों. तो उनने खटखट किया दरवाज़ा. तो हम ज़मीन में लेटे हुए थे और हम क्या है कि वो एक क्रिया होती है, तो वो हमारा सिर टकरा गया था दीवार से और हम लेटे थे. हमको कोई दर्द नहीं, कोई कुछ नहीं. तो जैसे उनने दरवाज़ा खोला तो बहुत खून बहा पड़ा था वहाँ पर. तो उनने विनोद भाई को बोला कि बोले ये तो खून बह गया, इनके लग गई आज, इनको हमें लगता दिवाली बात. तो उठाया उन्होंने. फिर हमको उस टाइम पे दर्द हुआ, इसके पहले दर्द नहीं था. वो एक स्थिति अच्छी है. अपन कहते हैं ना कि शरीर से बाहर की यात्रा करते हैं, एस्ट्रल ट्रैवलिंग जिसको अपन बोलते हैं. तो शरीर से बाहर के भी अनुभव होते हैं ना. कभी कभी ध्यान के मध्य में ये अनुभव भी होते हैं कि शरीर से भाई दुख तो, दर्द तो शरीर ही को होता है ना. अब तुम शरीर से बाहर निकले बैठे हो, उस टाइम पे तो दर्द किसको होगा? महसूस करने वाला था ही नहीं ना वहां पर. तो ये होता है. तो ये हमारा खुद का अनुभव है.
Your personal experience with
खुद का
Osho
अनुभव है वो.
in Khajuraho, Pune and America, in short way,
अरे it's too long.
just a little bit.
I tell you one story.
In Khajuraho you lived a lot, in Pune and also in
One
America.
incident I will tell you about a word. Once what happened, he came because he used to send his friend from Chhatarpur, used to send a letter by bus driver to my home, Rajnagar.
Okay.
That Acharya ji is coming, so they send this time, Ganga, you be there in the temple, meet him. So I used to come when I received this letter. So it was the month of May, and he wrote in the letter that he will reach here 8 o'clock in the morning. So I reached there. So जहाँ मंदिर का ये गेट है ना, वहाँ पर एक अशोक का पेड़ हुआ करता था बहुत बड़ा, उसके नीचे हम बैठे थे. I was sitting there and waiting for him. He came and he used to come by jeep of Mahendra Kumar Mano. So he said, Ganga, today you are not coming with me in the temple, and today you have to become my guard. I said, Acharya, I am always your guard. I am always behind you. I am always guarding you. He said, no, not like this. Today you have to stand at this gate and be the real guard. Because after half an hour, maybe after 1 hour, 4 people are going to come to see me. So if you are standing at the gate, they will definitely ask you who you are, what you are doing here. You tell them that you are the guard of the temple. He mentioned about it also in one of the lecture. So he said that, yes, they may ask you, since you are the guard, how long you have been standing there, from which time. You tell them from 6 o'clock in the morning. And then they will ask you that, have you seen a man with the beard, with the chappals, with the white cloth? You tell him, no, such a man has not gone inside. And I said, look, if they enter inside the temple, then what I will do? They said, then it is not your problem, let them come. But if they ask you, you reply like this. So I have been waiting for them, and after 40 minutes, one jeep came, in which 4 people were there. The way he told me that they look like this, their dress will be like this, so they were exactly the same. So 2 of them from the jeep, they got down and came to me. I was standing at the gate. So they said, oh, you are the Chokidar? I said, yes, I am the guard. So they said, have you seen such a man inside the temple? I said, such a man has not gone inside the temple so far. From 6 o'clock, I was standing here from 6 o'clock. So they said, are you really sure? I said, I am 100% sure. I said, if you don't trust me, then why don't you go yourself inside and find out? But such a man has not gone. And nobody has gone inside the temple so far. Not even one tourist is there inside. So they came back to the jeep and they discussed something. So the 2 people, those who were sitting in the jeep, they got down. And they came and they asked me the same questions. I said, I have already answered your questions. Such a man has not come to visit the temple. So they went back. They discussed something which I could not hear. And after 10-15 minutes, they left in the same direction from which they came. It happened only this much. Then I waited at the gate for 10-15 minutes. I thought maybe they come back and they enter. Then the Acharya will say that you did not perform your job. So I waited for 10-15 minutes. Then I went back. So he was lying down in Kandariya temple inside. I said, Acharya, these people came and they asked me the same questions, what questions you told to me. Exactly the same thing they asked me. And I gave them the answer. But I said who they are and why you did not wanted to see them. They said all of them are a big chatterbox. Chatterbox. In this word, really, I was graduate, but this word never came to me. And then I never read this book in any lesson or any book. Chatterbox. So I was quite amazed for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, I asked him, Acharya ji, you have used the word chatterbox, that all these 4 are chatterbox. What is this chatterbox? He said, chatterbox is the one who speaks too much, too loudly, too many questions. It's a chatterbox. And if they would have been here, they would have asked hundreds of questions, and my visit would have been useless today. And I wanted to be in peace, quiet, in silence, without any disturbance, so I did not like their company. Only this thing has happened. One day I was sitting, it happened in 1976. That day he was speaking on Jin Sutras.
Jainism.
I was working also in the ashram in 76. So sometime every day we used to come to listen. So one day, that day he told that if he has bribed only to be one person in whole of his life, and I have never bribed anybody in whole of life, only one person, and that is my guide. But he returned my bribe 1,000% more by becoming a sannyasin of mine. So everybody used to know in the ashram that I used to go with Acharya in the temples. I was well known in the ashram. So when he left the podium, everybody, 200 people came and they hugged me. They said, Ganga, how much money you have taken from Bhagavan? I said, he's a big liar. He never gave me anything. Then I explained to them the whole story, how it happened, because he made a joke. So it is there in one of the book, this joke. So this is interesting being with him, but there are so many experiences being with him in the temple, in the ashram, many things.
But why he decided to go to America in place of being in
Because you see,
such a
this,
mysterious
no,
country?
no, no. This ashram was a very small ashram. Every day 5,000 people were coming. And there was no space for the discourse for 5,000 people. We were accommodating only 2,000 people. So 3,000 people every day used to go. So ashram has been looking for a different place in India. But that time Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister of the country, and he was anti him. He never liked him because he said the truth about Gandhi, and he was a Gandhi-wadi. So he never liked this. So he never gave any permission. They looked in Kutch, they looked the palace of Patiala Maharaja Palace in Chel Palace in Shimla. And the Maharaja was ready to give. And Maharaja Mandvi, the whole family is sannyasin, they were ready to give him this whole palace. And even Rajgarh Palace. That time Govind Narayan Singh was the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, and he was a lover of Osho. He read some of his books. So once I asked Mummy, please, this my guru Rajneeshi is asking me that if we can get this for 100 years of leech, try Ganga, go back. So through Mummy I tried, and Govind Narayan Singh agreed on this whole project. Yes, he said, yes, with pleasure. I will give for 99 years of leech.
Wow.
And then in between this bloody Morarji Desai came to know that this Govind Narayan Singh is giving, because Mummy has a big influence on Govind Narayan Singh. So he called him, and then the whole deal was cancelled. Because of it, he was not getting permission in the whole country. So he left. Somebody found out.
But why America?
No, because people found out the land. So it can be any other country also. If some proposal would have come from Germany, from Holland, or from any country, he would have gone there. So the first proposal came from America. So he said, okay, let's
And
go.
why the American government have?
And you listen, here 2,000 people were coming per day. There 25,000 people were visiting every day. That is the difference. So it became more easy to convey the message fast to 25,000 people. So that was the difference, because the space was very little.
But the reality, why this American government got so tired with him?
Tired. He said the truth as it is. Truth is a fire. It burns everything. All your definitions, everything. And it is, politicians are always against the truth.
Ah, yes.
They live in hypocrisy. They live in pretensions. They are not the same. They have millions of faces. So the fire is not appealing to the politicians. When a man like Buddha is born, the thorn is shaked. सिंहासन हिल जाता है. It can be a pope, it can be a cardinal, it can be a Sankaracharya, it can be anybody, or the prime ministers or the presidents of the countries. He has to say the truth as it is. He cannot compromise. He's not living for you. If he is living out of compassion. He wants to share the truth as it is. Your truth cannot be your truth. His truth cannot be his truth.
Yeah.
Truth is always universal.
So,
Whether you accept it or not, it is your problem.
some of your experience with him in America,
Uh-huh.
any little bit, any incident which made you always remind.
So once when I went there, this secretary who lives now in
Switzerland.
Switzerland, she asked me how many dollars do you have. I said I have only $2,000. So he said you cannot live more than 15 days. I said fine, I will live 15 days. So she has shown me the place. So I met one driver of Osho. He was my friend from Pune. His name was Bires. I said, Bires, I came here for 2 months, but this Sila is telling me that you cannot stay more than 15 days because you have only $2,000. He said, don't worry, Bhagwan knows you personally, so what is the problem? I said, when I will meet Bhagwan, then it will become possible. How I can meet him? Because everybody has to see him from a distance, 1 meter distance or 2 meters. Those days he was not meeting anybody personally. No, he was not meeting anybody personally. So after 12 days, I asked again Bires, what can be done here? Please help me. How I can see Bhagwan? He said, okay, one day I am going to take him for a drive. Because generally he himself used to drive. But that day they were going some little bit out of the commune. So Bires was going to drive, and he said, when I will drive, I will mention your name, that he has come and he is staying here, and I will tell the whole story of Sila. So he told him. He was very happy. So he asked where he is staying. So he told him, tell Sila to put him in this place, change the place. So Bires, next day I met him. He said, Ganga, Bhagwan was happy you are here. So he has changed your place. I said, it's okay to change the place, but Sila is after me. I cannot stay more than 15 days. What I will do? He said, don't worry, tomorrow you are going to see him. So I went to see him, and I stayed 3 days, 15 days more, free. Nothing. So it was an interesting incident. But sometimes he used to meet the people to whom he knows from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But those days he was not meeting anybody. Everybody has to wait. He said no. For 1 month, no meetings with anybody. So people have been staying there waiting to see him personally. From India also, many people went, but they waited.
When he came from America, why you have not invited him to come and stay
No,
in
no,
Khajuraho?
no, no, no. He did not move anywhere. He was just in the ashram. His body was fragile.
So the Americans gave something.
They gave him, they did some analysis in England in the laboratories, and they found him the presence of the thallium poison. Thallium. You know this one poison which is known as thallium. So the symptoms which he has in his body, like white hair, ultra white hair, this is the effect of the thallium. And the sound also, the voice also slows down.
Yeah.
This is also the symptom. It happened with him.
It has just happened after coming back from
Yes,
America.
and it takes about 3 years for the body to die. So he died after 3 years of this poison. So this is the scientist which has given this whole analysis of this
Is it true when
poison.
he was flying from his state to India that to take the fuel, the Italian government have
Nobody
not
allowed him.
allowed?
26 countries said no.